Fat Tuesday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Shamel Jackson, the host of Fat Tuesdays. Forget all that to relationship ends, where I share words of wisdom from that book. Yes, welcome Fat Tuesdays. If you haven't, there's still time to go and watch those replays and comment, and I'll still be chatting with you just as I would if I did it the day of that it went live. But thank you for tuning in. Like I said, the Fat Tuesday is based off my book, Girl, Forget All That. And as a reminder, I do have a book bundle where you get the book, the journal, and a pen, all for $40, which is available on my website. And if you already have the book, you can just get your journal bundle with the journal and the pen. And inside the journal, you have the scripture that the title of the book is based off of, Isaiah 43:18-19, as a reminder. And the pen you can carry with you all the time as a reminder of what the goal is, to focus on what God is doing, the new things that God is doing in your life as a result of that relationship ending. Yes, and God is doing a new thing. That's what it says. God is doing a new thing. And we are going to go ahead and get right into it. Oh, also, today's Fat Tuesday, but yesterday was Music Monday. So if you have not tuned in to Music Monday, you need to tune in to Music Monday for the song of the week. And like I said, sometimes I post songs that I am currently listening to on repeat, and sometimes I just choose another song. It may not always be that way. Sometimes it may be a gospel song. Sometimes it may be a women empowerment song. So because I have several playlists, and some songs may be focused on a certain aspect of the journey of moving forward after a relationship ends. So some songs might be focused on the love of God. Some songs might be focused on us being overcomers. Like it can vary. Whatever, like I said, whatever God puts on my heart to present to you all, that's what I will post. But I normally post a clip of I only post a clip of the song on the actual Instagram page. But if you go on my stories, I started putting the YouTube link attached to the post for Music Monday. But on Facebook and in my email list, they automatically get the YouTube link right when they see the post. And so if you're not on my email list, join my email list by going in the link in my bio. You can get chapter 1 for free when you join my email list, and also just reminders of upcoming products or services that's coming out, discounts. Let me see what else. Reminders of Fat Tuesday, so you won't forget. And if you're on Instagram, turn your notifications on so you won't forget when I'm going live on Fat Tuesday. And so I said I'm coming back in August. I didn't know if it would be live or pre-record. I think I'm still going to do live, but it's when I get to September that will be a kind of a shift for me as far as my day job. So I'm going to try to come back, still go live in August. I'll still take a break at the end of August. So I don't know if August has 4 Tuesdays or 5 Tuesdays. So let's see. August has 4 Tuesdays. So I'm taking a break next Tuesday, and I come back August the 6th. So my schedule for the fall, for this upcoming school year, will really determine. I still can do 7:30. That should still be okay to do 7:30 on Tuesday. But as of right now, everything should be okay. So I'm gonna go for that. If not, it would have to be either me go live at 8 or me do a pre-recorded video. It just depends on. I'll try it out. That second one of the Tuesdays in August to see how things go with me. Doing it at 7:30 on Tuesdays when the school year starts. So that is that. And I've been sharing in my stories a lot of old posts, when I see them in my Facebook memories or Instagram memories or Instagram archives, or no, really my Time Hop memories as well. So, and it comes from another page, Breaking It Down CJ, where I was doing a lot of talk. Originally talking about abstinence because that was based off my book, Weight, Women in Intimate Tales. And so that is available on my website to purchase also. So a lot of that started off as abstinence. Then I moved into the talking about breakups and identity in Christ. So some that stuff is still relevant to this page. I just was doing it on that page at first, and then we shifted over here in 2023 because God was doing a new thing. Well, girl, forget all that. So tonight we are talking about therapy. It is my therapy anniversary. 7 years ago. 6 years ago. I'm trying to. You're supposed to be able to pin. Okay. 6 years ago, I entered into my first therapy session. I talked about that last week. When I, focus on, sometimes friends and family they're not trained professionals. So you having a therapist or coach or some wise counsel outside of your friends and family is very critical when you're trying to work through the grieving process of a relationship ending. And so we talked about how I, found my therapist, and then the things I learned in it going through that therapy. So if you missed that, go back to that. And today I was going to continue with that since it's my anniversary. And then there was 2 parts to me with therapy because there's 2 different situations that happened in the book. So therapy was different the second time around. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. And if you have your books with you, we are going to start. We're going to be at several pages because it's coming from the Back Into the Dating Scene chapter. And I'm going to go through at least 2 pages. And the last page I'll go through it's a very short sentence that I'll read, but I'm at least going to go through two pages, 2 parts of the book, of the chapter, I'm sorry. So let's see here. But yeah, now, sometimes I put a reminder just to remind people, hold on one second, of when I'm going live. Like I said, I send out messages, and then once I send it in the post, you can always say, remind me, because we forget. I put stuff in my calendar all the time, and so it's just good to have that reminder. So there we go. We're on page 49, Back Into the Dating Scene. All right. Okay. So met a guy through a friend on Facebook, and it was a crazy experience. And so in 2021 is when I said, okay, I'm done with that. And so this is where we are. After I cut this person off, this is what happened. That short dating experience sent me right back into therapy. For the next few months, I revisited attending deliverance sessions at my church and worked on forgiving myself. I repented of my pride and thinking I could not be caught up in that type of situation. I was disappointed in myself because I had put so much work into my healing process from the breakup, and I felt like I hadn't grown. However, I had to remember that because I was still learning about the spirit of rejection and healing from it, I needed to be patient with myself. I did the right thing by removing myself from the situation sooner rather than later. My therapist and friends agreed. And I'm going to stop there because I said it sent me right back into therapy. So the last situation I was in therapy, I did it was 8. I think now it's maybe 10 sessions you can get with your EAP program. Once those sessions were over, now you could get another set for a different situation, but it can't be the same situation. So once that was over, I didn't go back to therapy. I just, completed that, and he gave me the tools that I needed to, going forward, and that was work on my self-esteem. But then I started back dating a year or 2 years later, get back out there, and I was like, whoa. This was crazy. I got to get to therapy so fast. So this time around, I did not go through it. Well, this is what happened. I looked up my therapist. I knew I wanted to go back to him because he was really good. And so I said, let me Google him, see if, I think I went to the actual, started it first, the actual website for the EAP program, and I saw that he was not on there. And then I Googled him, and he came up in Psychology Today, which is that's a reference you can use to find a therapist. And so I saw that he had started his own practice, and so I contacted him. I emailed him or sent him a message on Psychology Today or something like that. And actually, and this is another thing you got to look into as well. Like, sometimes they may not take your insurance. You have to pay out of pocket, so it's called self-pay. Or you may have some therapists out here are only strictly self-pay, so for whatever reason. So in this case, for me, I had to do self-pay, but I was like, no, I don't, whatever. I know this therapist, I'm used to him, so let me go back to him and I'll figure it out. So I started back going February the 6th. And how I remember that is, and then I'm going to tell you some different things I started doing. And let me go, that reminds us, let's go back to the book, page 57. Page 57. So it says, "Are you serious, God? The first day I go on after a horrible breakup and the guy passes away in less than 2 years. Then I was mad at my friend for how he died, because he had he prioritized his health, he would probably be still around. At that point, the same strategies I applied during my healing process after the breakup were the strategies I applied during my season of grief. A few of the strategies included coloring, different types of journaling, reading books on grief, and attending a grief support group, and increasing my therapy sessions from once a month to once every 2 weeks instead." So, okay, so went back into the dating scene, cut it off, get back to therapy. So, and several things is going on. So I went back to therapy February the 6th, 2021. And in 2019, I met this young lady at a photo shoot, and she had did the therapy reflection journal. She's from Memphis. I am going to tag her in this video, Rosalind Postlewaite. And so I said, I need that journal. Reflection journal, because originally I had just had a regular journal. I meant to bring it with me, but I could not find it. I know I still have it. I talked about it actually doing the journal challenge back in May, the journals that I was using. And so it started with this one particular journal, just had a date on it and that date on each page, and that was it. But when I went to therapy this time, I had this, and in it you put your session date, your mood before the session, write down any notes you have, homework, things to reflect on for the next section, and then put it up close. And then you have post therapy. What is your mood after the session? Because honey, that mood could be totally different, or it could be the same. And so then it says, what did you learn? Immediate thoughts after the session. Okay, so immediate thoughts. So the mood, the date, the mood, homework. The date, the mood, session notes, homework, things to reflect on. Mood after the session, what did you learn? Like your immediate thoughts after the session. And then once you settle down, got yourself together, you really go in detail about that session. And you do your reflection. Sometimes I got better about doing this part. I normally do this part because I'm doing it at the session and immediately after. But that reflection part, to like go in deeper about it, hey, EGs are 40, I did not do. And so this just helps you be more intentional about your therapy. So y'all, so when I went, it was February 6th. I would never forget the day. I think I went and got my nails done afterwards. It was a whole thing, but I knew I had to go because I'm like, why am I making these, like, what is these patterns? And so when I get there, I found out like the first session that I had a problem with boundaries. And so, and we talked about that a lot in this session, and in future session as well. And so there was a quote, and I love quotes or metaphors or whatever to help me understand something. But he was telling me, like, when you let down your boundaries, this is what the quote he gave: "If you eat the devil's corn, he will choke you with the cob." So it's, bit by bit, as you letting down those boundaries, turn into this big thing. He would choke you with the cob. So now if that person has, disregarded your boundary, and we do not say anything, and we end up being choked. And so that is where I really I was so excited. I told my friend after that about the session. I think it was immediately after the session I was telling her how it went, how this revelation I got about my boundaries. And like I said, it's good to have a community of people that also value mental health and therapy and all that can support you on your journey. And sometimes you just may want to just share the excitement of what you experienced through therapy with another person. It's not so much about asking them what they think about it. Just sharing the journey with somebody is so, what is the word? Amazing. And so, just be careful about who you share that journey with. You don't have to get into the details of the therapy session, because I didn't talk about every single detail with this person. I just she knew why I was going. And she had a general idea where I was going, so we just kind of went from there. And I won't show everything that I wrote for that session, but that's where, when I went back, I said, okay, boundaries. And then the next thing he says, and I went every month, so the next month he said, the boundary is not real until someone tries to violate it, and there is a consequence. So you can set the boundary, but it's somebody gonna try you, period. They're gonna try you, but there has to be a consequence set in place, and a realistic consequence. And I read about this. I told y'all, well, if you've seen posts from months ago, back in probably November, you will see that I made a post about how I finally read the book Boundaries in Dating. This is 2021. I bought Boundaries in Dating and Regular Boundaries and the workbook, all that stuff, back in 2021, probably fall 2020, and then up into 2021, I had all the books, both of them. And so I tried to read it by myself, but then 3 years later, I said, okay, I'm going to read it. I don't know what caused me to say, okay, this is the time. And then I read it with a person, and it's very successful. And I'm putting into action those things that I learned with that. And so, like I said, and they talk about how you got to put a consequence in place. I just had a discussion with the person I read that book with Sunday. We were reading another book, and she came up with a consequence if that person does not abide by the boundary. And so God has boundaries. It talks about it in the book, not my book, but the Boundaries book. God has boundaries. In the Garden of Eden, he said, if you eat fruit, there was a boundary. They got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. If we're made in God's image, we have to enforce boundaries. You have a boundary, like they make this comparison as well in the book. I think it's in the book, or I heard it at church. You have a fence. Some people, you got a fence around your house. Houses are divided. They got fences, so you are sectioning off what your property is, and nobody should be coming over there. They don't supposed to be over there. Now, if you let them come over there, then that's your business. Now, if they come over there, that's a fence that's supposed to separate you from your neighbor. Okay, so it's that type of thing. And I may draw. I'm a visual person, so I probably would get a sheet of paper. I think I'm gonna get a sheet of paper and draw a fence and write, like, what are my boundaries inside, like, on that. I'm gonna have to figure that out. So it may be already in that book and I forget. But yeah, so this is what I use, and then I will write, what's my next section. See, my emotions change here. Let's see, my mood changed. Like, I had a 5 on the first session because I was happy. I was excited. I said, oh, I'm going to therapy. I'm going to figure out what's going on. It went down to a 4. Probably because I'm like, oh, Lord, I got work to do. So, and don't trip. But yeah, this is, I'm going to tag her in the video about this. So, yeah, so that's what I did as well. And then also, okay, so let's go back to page 57. I was talking about how he passed away in less than 2 years, and those strategies that I applied. Now, he didn't send me back to therapy. Being in that situation sent me back to therapy in February. Now, he died in 2022, but we reconnected that fall of 2021, right? I did not tell my therapist. I was very hesitant about who I told about me reconnected with him, and I just wanted to be careful. And I knew it was probably 2 people that knew: the person I met him through, and a person that I confided about my therapy sessions and all of those things. And so, no, I'm sorry, it was it was another person, not her, but so 2 people that knew that we had reconnected. I just need some kind of accountability. And I mentioned that in the chapter. I need some kind of accountability during this situation. So, and I'm glad I did. But it wasn't until I'm glad I reconnected with him, and I'm glad I had accountability. So it wasn't until March 13th. I had a therapy session March 13th. It was a Saturday. And it was at the end of the session, actually. And I told my therapist no, it was March 12th. I told him that I had reconnected to him, and the last thing he said was, be careful of that Pandora's box. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days later, he died. The person died. And so I ended up going back to therapy in April the 9th. Funeral has happened. I think at this point, I visited the grave at this point. I found out how he died and all of that. And coming back to this therapy session, that's what the news was. Less than a month later, I had a whole different situation to tell him. This man has died. And so, talk about an emotional roller coaster. But like I said, I learned that from there I didn't do too well with boundaries. So I'm going to go to page 62, where I talk about, at the top of page 62, I say, due to this experience, I became more aware of some of the characteristics I desired to see in a spouse, and I was able to address rejection and pride issues I had. I gained insight on recurring emotional boundary issues which showed up big time in my adult life, and I could clearly see areas which I needed to be strengthened in. So, emotional boundaries. So that is a ongoing process. Just a sidebar, boundaries. And I said, okay, last video I said, I had an issue with rejection. That stems into you have a problem. My boundaries issue goes back to fear and rejection, because you're like, okay, if I set this boundary, will they still want to be connected to me? So you're fearing that if you set the boundary, they will leave. You're fearing rejection. So the fruit is no boundaries, but the root is you have a fear of rejection. Why do you have a fear of rejection? So that is really a whole nother topic within itself. I did on my Breaking Down CJ page, that would be the focus of that, to strictly talk about rejection. And the thing is, number one, you have to know your identity in Christ. Because if the reason why you're not setting boundaries, your fear of rejection means, okay, there is some self-esteem issues why you fear rejection. Everybody wants to be accepted, loved, all of that. Nobody who likes rejection. Nobody. It's not. Oh yeah, I got rejected. Rejection can get easier once you have solidified who you are. It can get easier, but if there's somebody you love, or there's some job you want, or whatever the case may be, and they reject you, it's gonna sting a little bit. It's gonna sting a little bit. Now, it can manifest, the hurt can manifest, or pain can manifest in different ways for different people, but it's gonna sting a little bit. But like I said, rejection is a huge topic that I am continuing to study, and this is the book that I'm reading right now. I'm not really reading it consistently, because I have another book that I'm reading with a person, so I kind of jump around with this because God got me focused on several things. So but yeah, that has been my therapy experience. Now I don't go every month now. Things have changed a little bit, but sometimes life experience caused me to go more. Like I went every 2 weeks when that person died. Like I think that was the actual first time that I had someone extremely, like, I know my grandma died, but that was different. This person is the same age as me. We are a day apart, we're a day apart, and talk to them almost every day. Text or talk every single day, and suddenly passed. That was like probably one of the most traumatic events in my life. And so I needed to, thank God I was already in therapy. But it the focus shifted to, okay, I'm still trying to deal with, I don't even know what I was talking about in those sessions prior to him finding out that I was talking to him again, and then the death. I don't remember. I can look at my notes. But let me just go back. What was I talking about prior to the death? Because once April got here, that was all the focus. Oh, we talking about this death because, oh my God. I don't even know. So like I had a lot going on. But every time rejection makes us look at ourselves. Sometimes the rejection is because of the good qualities in us. Like Joseph in the Bible. Okay. God didn't create me to fit in the circle. Wow. Y'all, I need to go back and look at my therapy notes. Like, he be spitting some gems up in that session. Like, okay. But yeah, so do not fear therapy, y'all. It's like I said, it can be, it's really freedom, actually, because you have somebody there to help you navigate through life. Like I said, it doesn't have to be, ooh, something traumatic happened to me, let me go to therapy. It's just part of, you know how you go to the doctor, just maintenance. You just keeping track before something major happens. You're making sure everything's in check. You're mentally stable. Like, you know, it's just maintenance. Like if you work out, you have a certain exercise regimen. You may have a certain diet. It's all just a part of your lifestyle. Just making sure that you're sober minded, everything's cool, and if it's not, you can address those issues and just go on with your life, because life gonna be lifing. But yeah, I think that's all I have for today. To talk about how I went back into therapy, the payment price, the practical things like how I found him, and how, you know, different avenues I took in therapy, what I used for my therapy journal. Now next time I go, I need to make sure I still have not I've been telling myself. So last time I went to therapy June 27th. No, that's wrong. No, that is not right. May 30th, 24. That's when I was sharing that was the anniversary of my book. So I don't know how this be happening. I be going on therapy special days. We was talking about boundaries in. Boundaries are meant to protect me and keep me safe. Respect my own boundaries, or what's the sense in setting it? Yep. Respect my own boundary, or what's the sense in setting it if you're not going to respect your own boundary? So yeah, I did not. Oh, I did do a little reflection on that. No, maybe I didn't. I think I ran out of room with my notes and I had to go on this page. But yeah, I'm going to go back and review my therapy notes. But thank you for tuning in. I am going to get some rest and think about what's next for Fat Tuesday. And I do want to do a in-person Fat Tuesday. So that will be for my local people. Oh, hey, if you're not local, you want to hop on into Memphis, Tennessee, yes. It will. I know it will be a intimate gathering. So I always 15 people or less that I do. I did it a long time ago, like 5 years ago, y'all. Cupcakes and Conversation was what it's called, and I would love to do that again before the year is out. So that's on a Tuesday, to go with the theme, Fat Tuesday. And I will do some things on other days too. It's just that I really want to do a in-person Fat Tuesday. So, and I got some other things I need to work on. That's why I got to rest. Well, that's why I got to, take a break, especially next Tuesday. Now, if I do another Tuesday, like August the 6th, then I'll let y'all know. If I need 2 Tuesdays to kind of like gather everything. I don't know, because my schedule's going to change in August. So I may need to need the extra day to readjust to the new schedule that's happening in August. All right. Well, anyway, you guys have a good night, or if you're watching it live or at night, have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Don't forget, the book and the journal bundles are available on my website, as well as a form to fill out if you're interested in me speaking at your church or women's organization, any kind of conference, workshop, It doesn't have to be at a church. It can be somewhere else. There's information on my website to complete that, and we can just go from there. I showed you my first book, Wait, Women Intimate Tales, and I wrote this for teen girls and also young adult women as well, like early 20s, 18, like, that college age, and there's a lot going on in college. So this right here, I know a lot of students are going to college. It's so much. Oh Lord, being abstinent back in my day was hard, but I can just imagine now. I don't know. It's that could be hard, especially if you don't have a community of people to hold you accountable. So, sex is sex. We're gonna talk about it. It's not going away. So this is available on the website, and this has like questions at the end, discussion questions at the end. It's written in dialogue format, so it's really a good thing where you can take and using small group setting, and everyone can take on a character and read that, and then discuss what's being said, y'all. But I'm just amazed at this book because I feel like I did this. I had discussion questions at the end, y'all. That is so like, wow. There was a lot of thought put into this. Not to say that's not what the second book was about, but I had, now at the back of this book, I did each book kind of different. Like this one at the end has breakup tips from me and from other women that when I did the first version of this book, I just took them and put them in here. And then I had book references, suggested readings, scriptures in this one too. Yep, there's scriptures in here too, because you listen. Because people need to know that God talks about sex. Why would he talk about something that he created? And so now it does have a Snapchat on here, but y'all, I'm not on no Snapchats. I don't be on Snapchat. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in. I'll still be making a few. I still probably make a few posts, but not just doing Music Monday and Fat Tuesday. But like I said, you can catch up on the other ones, and I will talk to you later. Bye.